job, buddy. P1 right there.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to another exciting week here in the No Toad Racing League. Live tonight out of Bristol. Just 2 races left in the season, and no surprise, Benjamin Nelson up top. Quickest time in practice right now as we take a quick look at standings before we go into the qualifying real quick. As you see right there, Michael Nash still holding a pretty steady lead over Ryan Traver with just 2 races to go. You got here in Martinsville left. Terry Brooks running P2, Gary Sargent 4th, and Christian Loxton will round out your top 5 in points. So Ryan Traver is here tonight, was not here last week. Looking for a good finish here tonight to try to close in that gap and make it a little bit more manageable going into our final race at Martinsville next weekend. As these guys, unfortunately, are not racing at dirt. I prefer it. It's funner to broadcast. It's funner to race. But they're racing the asphalt here at Bristol. And speaking of dirt racing, real quick, just quick condolences go out to Justin Owens and his family, friends, and team. Justin Owens tragically passed away in a crash last night in Lawrenceburg, Pennsylvania. So, not shout out, my apologies. Thoughts and prayers are definitely with his friends and family at this time. These guys get ready to round up qualifying, or round up practice, and get ready for qualifying here tonight. 200 laps of action here at Bristol, and luckily for them, it is a night race. So before they go qualifying, let's take a quick look at the race info. As you see here, track's a little bit over a half a mile length. Track temp at a nice and cool 82 degrees. So definitely a lot of grip here tonight. It's going to take some time for those tires to get some heat in them. And I say about lap 4 or 5 is when you start seeing the fastest lap put down. Around lap 20 is when you start seeing them fall off really coming into play. And people who save their tires start pushing away to the front. And people who use their stuff up start falling a little bit further back in the field. I think they're going on track. We got Christian Loxton. Now let's actually go ahead and ride on board with him at the completion qualifying laps here. One of the keys to qualifying here is you really want that second lap to be your quick lap. There's really not enough heat in those tires for that first lap to be fast. As you see Loxton get his first lap put in there. Should be interesting to see if anyone kind of diamonds coming out of Ford to really get that speed going down the front stretch. That will shave about a half a tenth off if you're able to take it right. Oh, that's why it's not showing. I don't have it up. Uh-oh. Give me a second. It's being weird. Alright, if that don't fix before the race starts, we will go ahead and do some stuff real quick. But these guys put on a show last week at Richmond. 3 short tracks in a row to end the season. Richmond last week, Bristol tonight, and Martinsville next week. Martinsville's still up in the air if it's being broadcasted or not. I am actually going to the actual Martinsville race, and I live about 2 hours away. So, depending on what time the race gets done will depend on if this race is broadcasted. And if it is, if I can get here in time, I might, start a couple laps late, but I'll try my best to get the show put on next week for sure. They should be joined by Chris Mabel Suzuki later on tonight. In the meantime, just kind of soloing it is Benjamin Nelson running a sweet little Oreo scheme. As I meant to check something. Did I get... Hold on a second. Let me see if that will reload for me. He's showing up at the 04, not the 03. No, it's still the 04. Alright. So it looks like everyone was able to get a qualifying lap put in. We're still waiting. Oh. Let me see if I reload this if it helps. No. up technical difficulties. Give me a second real quick. Let me try to figure out this issue I'm having with SDK right now. Unless that might be right. It's showing only 7 guys put in a lap. I'll see if that's correct. Okay, nope, that's correct. Okay, so I'm not going crazy. So Benjamin Warren must have looped it. Not Benjamin Warren. Benjamin Nelson must have looped it both times. Speaking of Benjamin Nelson, he's sitting in here. Let's go ahead and see if we can't pull him down and give him a quick interview real quick. What is going on, Benjamin? I see you in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, coming off of 4 straight podium finishes, man. I saw you out there qualifying. It looked like you might have looped it around. Talk us through this race and the the way that you prefer to save tires here.
Yeah, I mean, Bristol's never been my strong suit, but it's definitely fun. Qualifying was a little bad for me. I got some mistakes that were made, but saving tires is definitely important with these cars, especially because there's really not that much downforce. So right front is going to be very important here. Gonna have to be patient, not crank the not crank the wheel too hard. You can be too aggressive on the short run, stuff like that. But it's going to be hard to stay at the right pace because people are going to be
Yeah.
really on your butt trying to get by you, and they might fall off, they might not. It's hard to tell.
Now, I know you used to race the Pro Series. I gotta ask you. I've raced 2 races here this weekend in another league, a trucks and a next gen race, but they're both day races. Will we see a different running line? 'Cause when I was racing other races, it was the high line. So this night, will the low line be more preferred for tire saving, or will we still see the high line being used a lot?
So uh I've never actually raced this car at this track, but I will say from what I know about Bristol,
Hmm.
the bottom is best for tire saving. It's just a little slower. High side you can get a little more pace out of it, but it's short lived, so you got
You
to use
mean
it basically to pass people.
you mean to tell me I've been racing wrong all weekend? Maybe that's why I sucked.
Well, maybe, but it depends on who you're racing. Because if the other people aren't doing that, then it's fine, I guess.
All right, man. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right, while these guys get graded up, let's go over our starting lineup here tonight. Only 11 guys here tonight, but we'll still make the show go on. You go look at our official starting guys. No, we got 12 drivers here tonight. AJ Benish had a strong performance last week. I think he ended up wrecking out, getting that pole position. Christian Loxton, P2 outside pole. Michael Nash and Ryan Traver, your 2 top point sitters, lining up side by side in row 2. Row 3 got Jaden Comstock and Gary Sargent. Row 4, Joseph Willoughby and Benjamin Nelson. Row 5, you will have Michael Giberson and Duke Davis, 2 really good buddies. And behind him and around the field, TJ Warren and Chase Harden. Chase Wallbang Harden. As these guys do have 2 pace laps here tonight. They should at least. Give me a quick second real quick. Let me go ahead and turn down the engine sound. I turned it up from my racing. Let's just start turning it down a little bit. 200 laps around this short track. This 200 laps will go by pretty fast as these guys do run. Even with tire fall off, about I think 16 seconds might be the slowest we see the leaders go. Fuel run, not too sure, but if they can make it 100 laps, for sure you might see them split the race into 2. And they do have. I am not seeing the tire limit. But AJ Benish getting a really good start here. The 3 of Loxton going wide there early on in the race and allow the 60 of Nash to get by him. And Ryan Travers not too far behind in 6th place. Benish out to a good lead at the battle for second. Room back here between Loxton and Nash. as he looks through the field. Everyone kind of single filed out. Got a nice side-by-side battle here. That is for 5th place. No, my apologies. 6th place between Trevor and Nelson. I was talking to Gary Sargent for his race starter. Oh, contact 88 into the wall. Keeps it going. No caution. It's out. Oh, now there might be a caution. Trying to see what happened. We're going to go back and look. I saw the problem was the 88 of Constark first. Oh, it looks like Constark just got loose coming out of the corner there. Yep, just got on the gas a little too soon. Had it collected and then... Oh, what happened to the 008 there? Did he just... What in the world? Go cockpit here and let's slow it down and see if maybe he had contact or if he just jerked it. You see him coming back up? Oh yeah, he just jerked it hard to the right to try to avoid the car down low and right into the 88. Early problems there for the 008 and 88. Luckily, these guys do get tire sets. Let's take a look at how many tire sets they have. So they have 4 extra set of tires for 200 laps. And 1 fast repair, which will benefit the 08 of Chase Harden. We're under caution here. Let's go ahead and bring down Gary Sargent, league owner, to talk about next season. Hey, what's going on, Gary?
Yes, sir.
Hey, 2 races left in the season, man. I brought you down here to give out any analysis you might have on what's going on next season, when next season might start.
All right, so haven't really looked at the calendar too hard, but it's going to be starting in May, here in about probably 4 weeks or so, mid-May. We are recruiting for our ARCA, our trucks, and our 87 Legends, so love to have anybody out.
Alrighty. Take it you'll be throwing up recruitment races, so keep an eye out for NTRL recruitment races going up if you wish to join this league. And
Absolutely.
Before we go by green, I know Cup races Sunday. Just let the viewers know what days the other series race.
Sorry, say again. Spotter was talking.
Just let the viewers know what days your other series race.
So our ARCA is on Monday night, 87 Legends on Tuesday. We've got a currently we got a Super Series days we might keep going for a while, and it's on Thursday.
All right, man. Good luck the rest of the race.
Appreciate it.
Alright, so if you're watching this, you're interested in joining this great, fine group of drivers we got here, definitely keep an eye out for the recruitment races up in the hosted sessions. Definitely I recommend racing here. I've raced the ARCA a couple times, and we've had fields of 20 plus drivers with very few cautions. And the cautions we have had have been minimal to none. But AJ Bench will lead the field back green here in lap 8. The 60 and Nash on the outside, and that 7 of Benish using a restart zone to his advantage. We got a battle brewing back here for 3rd between Willoughby and Loxon. Willoughby gets a great run on the outside. Now Benjamin Nelson looking to the outside of the 3. Benjamin Nelson looks to the outside, can't quite get the stick. Looking for a run off the corner exit 3, getting a little loose. Going to open the door for Nelson to get by, even the 555 of Duke Davis. Oh, Willoughby's going around. TJ Warren also having issues, apparently. Go back and see what happened here with the 49. I saw Willoughby get loose. You see it up in front of him. I think that might have been yes, that was a caution. But you also saw in front, Willoughby was having issues as well. Same as before, just getting loose off the corner and just overcorrecting into the wall. I don't think he had a meatball. No meatballs there. Was able to get it locked down. See down low, Chase Harden has manually disconnected. TJ Warren, one of the guys involved in that wreck. Early on, second caution here. This track is a lot more fast-paced in Richmond. A lot of mistakes will happen throughout this race, and Luckily for these guys, iRacing has figured out the cautions. I was racing here in another league last night and tonight, and we had to throw manual caution because it was not throwing cautions. We literally had a truck, 2 trucks, parked down on the track, and there was not a caution being thrown. I don't know why. The 194 Giberson and the 49 still in pit lane getting some damage fixed. Let's see what they collected in that wreck that brought up the caution. Trying to get as much damage fixed as they can. Give me a quick second, real quick. These guys get ready to go lined up 2 by 2. Binish, Nash, front row. Benjamin Nelson made his way back into the top 3 already. Benjamin Nelson, biggest mover with Duke Davis, both up 5 spots from where they started.
Green flag, green flag.
Pace car pulls off. Ben's getting a really good start. Looks like he might have missed the shift. He's going to open the door for Nash to look to the outside with Duke Davis in tows. But Ben is getting a really good roll through center of the corner. Benjamin Nelson as well getting around on the inside. Benjamin Nelson now up 6 spots from where he started. Great run here early on by Nelson. Started towards the back of the pack. Didn't have the qualifying run he wanted. He is making up ground and quick. Also, another thing I forgot to point out here is these guys are running single pit lane. What that means is you must enter pit lane at the entrance of 2, where you see Nelson going by right about now, and you come out at the end of 1. So if you get caught speeding, especially exiting pit lane, you are going to go multiple laps down. And another tricky thing about it is you'll see the blue lines, they roll through 3 and 4. Right now they're in 1 and 2. So if they roll through 3 and 4, you'll see that blue line. They have to stay below that blue line. If they go above that blue line, it will be an unsafe pit exit, and that will cost them some time as well. In the meantime, Benish looking really strong. You heard Nelson, this hasn't been his greatest track. I mean, he's gained 6 spots, but Benish definitely showing the way here tonight. Let's go on track. Looks like we got Battle Broom back here with the 88, possibly. And a Willoughby, 121. Both the guys involved in the wrecks early on. Willoughby was running in the top 5, trying to make his way back up. And he's slowly but surely doing it. Unlike last week where it was hard to pass. I mean, no track's easy to pass on, but this is, in my opinion, one of the easier tracks to pass on if you know how to get a run. As you see, the 80 got a really good run there coming off of 2. But Benish now out to a 1.2 second lead over the 125 of Benjamin Nelson. 60 of Nash has fallen back to 3rd since that restart. He's kind of been sitting since the restart. Looks like we have a battle burning here between Trevor and Duke Davis for fourth. Duke Davis trying his best to get back around the 03. He's just showing the wrong number, I guess. I did load in late, and I did refresh, so I think that is the paint scheme he is running. That's what I'm seeing, at least. Unless that's just his... That might be his Trading Paints Pro number. Right around Benjamin Warren now. Kind of making his way back to the front. Or back towards where he was running, I should say. Was involved in that last caution with the 194 of Michael Giberson. Giberson usually does pretty well at short tracks. I'm wondering if he's setting up a long run here, trying to save some tires. As the 03 of Trevor has chased down the 60 of Mr. Nash. And you see Trevor really diamond the corner there and exit. I mean, he gets speed doing that, but the downside of that is that's actually burning up his right front like crazy. Nash is kind of holding it steady in the bottom as Trevor's looking for a kind of an arch angle to it. And these are your top two in points, so every point matters here for that 04 machine. Go ahead and ride on board here for a couple laps with the 03. As we're back live, looks like JD Constark has disconnected from the race. We're left with 10. The battle for second still brewing. In the meantime, that gap was a 2.0 and now it's down to a 1.8. So Nelson's starting to reel in Benish ever so slowly. I feel we're on lap 36 of 200. It should be interesting because Benish is starting to catch. You see here in the track map, he is starting to catch the 121 of Willoughby. So it should be interesting to see how he manages through lap traffic. I mean, you got Benish out on his own island. You got Nelson kind of out on his own island. And then you got the big group of guys back here. Third through about 8th, all under about a second and a half of a blanket. Gary Sargent was talking to me. He said, I don't know how to run this track. I haven't figured it out yet. I mean, he's holding pretty steady there in 6th. He said he did a 34 lap run and he came in at tires at 95. So I don't know if I'm running slow or if tires don't matter here. And I was like, no, they definitely matter. So with the way Gary Sargent's running this track, he's not the fastest, but he might have a decent long run car. He caught that back bumper. Duke Davis has Warren looks to the inside. Ooh, it got sketchy. Still side by side there. And the crazy thing here at Bristol is it's really not slowing Gary Sargent down too much. He's still able to run his line. If there's anything slowing down, it's that side draft that Warren's putting on at 28 going down the front and back stretch. But Warren's going to lose a spot here to the 3 of Loxton, who looks to the outside, taps the wall there. He's still battling the outside. That gap for the lead is now down to under a second. We'll go to bat for that lead here in a second. As Loxton gets around the 43. We go to Nelson, who's chasing down the leader of AJ Benish. Benjamin Warren caught him pretty quickly. As he gets around him pretty quickly. You got a big group of guys back here by the 555. Duke Davis. Gary Sargent's looking to get that 5th place taken over. He's clear, but Duke might get the run off a corner exit. No, Gary cuts the nose off. Now the 3 of Loxton looking to the inside. A little bit of bobble there coming out of turn 2. These guys have also chased down that 03 of Traver as well. Everyone's starting to single file it out. As your new leader, Benjamin Nelson's put up 1.2 second gap on that number 7 machine of Benish. As this might go green from here on out. As the field has really started to spread out. Going back to that battle for 5th position, Loxton and Gary still side by side as they are chasing down Traver. At least Traver got a podium finish last week. I may be wrong. Ooh, big wiggle out of the 3. Gary Sargent now running that low line, trying to get around that Mango machine. As we got Duke Davis and TJ Warren side by side. Duke is really getting tight on corner entry. In the meantime, something must have happened to Gary because he was on the back bumper of Traver. Let's just go ahead and see what might have happened there with the boss man Gary Sargent. Kristen Loxton gets around him for that P5 position. Ooh! That'll do it. As Loxton has gotten around the 03 of Traver. Another battle is going to be brewing here in a couple laps as Nash has chased down AJ Benish and now brought that gap down to under a second. Duke Davis starting to fall back in the field. Was running in the top 5, now in threat of losing 9th place to the 49 as he gets around him there. Not to mention the leaders are right behind him. Coming into your shot right there. That is your leader, the 125 of Benjamin Nelson. Benjamin Nelson completed 4 races here. Out of the 4 races, he has won 3, and the only race he did not win was the Landon, where he still got P2. So Nelson putting 2 more drivers a lap down. And he already put Michael Giberson another lap down. That's the 03 and the 28 going at it now for 5th position. As Traver knowing he needs a good finish here tonight to kind of put a dent in that points lead Nash has, but Nash running 2 spots ahead of him as of now. Gary can get around him at 3, and that's valuable points. I mean, going into Martinsville, we have a yellow flag. Looks like issues with the 49 of TJ Warren. Back here and see what happened to the good-looking 49 machine. Oh! Not too much damage, but the downside of that is both the lap down cards were involved. That should give your lucky dog to, I believe, the 194 of Michael Giberson and put him only a lap down. And I would be amazed if anyone stays out here. I was correct. 194 of Michael Giberson getting the lucky dog. See him entering pit lane. It is a long drive through pit lane here at Bristol when it's single pit lane. We will let pit stops get complete, and we'll bring in Benish once they get pit stops complete. Nelson win that race off of pit lane. Benish stalled out there. He come out P4. I'm wondering, did Benish get a black flag? No. Huh. Not sure what's going on with 7 there. Huh. Let's go ahead and pull down the 7 to AJ Benish. What's going on, AJ? I think the booth's got a copy.
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, loud. Hey, man, first and foremost, dude, you had a great run there. What adjustments think you're going to have to make to have that long run speed that 125 has?
I need to, get some grip hacks. Me and this car don't normally agree, so we'll see. Obviously, I burned my tires up on that one pretty good, so we got to try to find a better line and hope to hold on to these other guys.
You need to get some pro hacks, huh?
I mean, Ben's on a different level, so.
All right, man. Good luck the rest of the race. Hope you can figure that out and try to get Ben off that pedestal he's on.
Thank you.
Also, you don't mind me asking, you fall into the rear for a reason? I didn't see you get a black flag.
I was a dummy and was like a mile an hour over on pit lane.
Oh, no. It didn't pop up. All right, man. Good luck.
Thanks.
All right, so that answers my question. What happened to the 7 there?
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag is out. Nelson getting a great jump on that restart. Nash is second. Loxton makes his way up to the top 3. Seven cars on the lead lap. Let's keep an eye on Benish. He's going to make his way through the field, and that's what he's doing. He's already up to 5th, starting in the rear, making his way towards the 28 machine of Gary Sargent. TJ Warren, multiple laps down. I believe he used his fast repair already. Was just getting damage fixed, possibly. As SEK is being lovely and saying that Nelson's in the pits, which is not the case. We got battle room for second between Loxton and Nash. And Loxton looking to that low side, can't quite get it done. He's going to go back to that low side and try again. You heard Nelson say it, low line, it's a better line to save tires, but it's a little bit slower. As if you're watching the Cup race, quick update: Christopher Bell has officially won that race. So congrats to Christopher Bell. Loxton gets a great run off of turn 4, but can't quite get to the inside, and all this battling has kind of let Gary Sargent close that gap, as AJ Benish has made his way back into the fight, or is making his way back into the fight. Loxton now looking to the outside, getting a great run and corner exit out of 4. Side by side they go into turn 1. Out of 2, the 60 getting a little loose on the bottom. That was almost bad for the 3 machine, but he's able to complete the pass. He's making his way into second place. And if I'm Benish right here, I mean, you kind of got that ELO penalty. I think what Benish might be doing, because we know he has great long run speed, he's probably trying to figure out how to save tires right now. He is trying to figure it out. We got the 03 back here, sitting for position, but they are side by side. Giberson and Traver. So if you're Traver, you just gotta hope the 60 has some sort of issues, because he's definitely losing points here tonight. We're almost at the halfway mark, but that 60 machine has definitely been showing. Out of the top 2 guys in points, he's been the more dominant car. And good old Gary Sargent, I think he's starting to figure this track out. Started towards the rear of the field, now up into 4th place, and he's slowly but surely chasing down that 60 machine. As we haven't done this yet, let's take a look at some last lap times, what these guys are running. He locks in a little bit faster than Benjamin Nelson on last time by. Oh, Loxton's caught up to Nelson. As Nash, out of the top 5, was the slowest car. Or not Nash, my apologies, Nelson. Benish ran a 14.99, was the only sub 15-second lap. 2 laps ago, this time by a little bit quicker than the leader. And now that Loxton's in that dirty ear of Nelson, should be interesting to see what he's able to do. And I think Nash is starting to slowly close the gap too. So take another look at some last lap times. Here Nelson a little bit quicker than Loxton, almost a tenth. I believe Loxton might have lost some more time. No, he gained a little bit. Another interesting thing here at Bristol is you see the track map is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. They are not identical turns. They are a little bit different, and that difference in turns will make a difference in your tire wear if you try to drive them both the same. You do got to drive them a little bit differently to save tires. That gap is a steady quarter of a second these last couple laps by. At the gap between Loxton and Nelson staying steady. In the meantime, that 60 of Nash has me catching him. It was about a 1.1 about 5 laps ago. He's now dropped it down to a 0.9. As I say that, he has a really bad 1 and 2, loses about 2/10. We go back to the battle for the lead. Lawson still in those tire tracks of Nelson, but he can't quite chase him down. Washes up wide there. Gonna lose a little bit of time from that corner entry. Looks like Benjamin Nelson's starting to pull away a little bit here. He locks him out at 8. His tires up, chasing him down. As Nash definitely ate him up, as he's lost over a second in a matter of 5 laps or so. Him and Gary Sargent both, as Benish still has not recovered from that speeding penalty. Still sitting back there in 5th. We get to the halfway mark, 100 down, 100 to go here at Bristol. Nelson's coming up with some lap traffic to 194 of Michael Giberson. Giberson doing a respectful thing, letting Nelson have the preferred race in line. We go back to Willoughby, last car on the lead lap. Was involved in a caution earlier on, running in the top 5, and he has yet to recover. Last car on the lead lap behind the 03 of Traver, and this is the battle for position. Willoughby still looking to the inside. I think one of the things I love about racing these cars is the only car you can get away with kind of banging the wall and not really affecting your aero too much. I mean, it is a short track, but aero does kind of matter here at Bristol with the speeds you can. Will be still unable to make that pass. About the only battle for position we have on track right now. Allergies. We saw Giberson go into pits. He might be parking and calling it a night. Willoughby still trying to get around on the inside. Can't quite get it done because Traver has that really good drive-off speed. In the meantime, Benish has caught Gary Sargent. This is the battle for P4. Same thing we're seeing back there. That high line has that drive off. Sargent overshoots a little bit, blinks out. Benish to P4. We go back for the battle for 6. Will be still unable to get a by. Your second in point standings, Traver. And it's going to be interesting. They're coming up on the 49 of Mr. Warren. And Warren's running the line that Willoughby likes to run. Willoughby's starting to fall back a little bit here. Take a really quick look at some last lap times yet again. Nelson 2/10 quicker than the whole entire field. No shocker there. As Nash is second quickest that last time by. So Nash might be looking to chase down Loxton here in the next, I don't know, 15, 20 laps or so. That gap is over 3 seconds, but it is closing slowly but surely. The last time by, Nash was 2/100ths quicker. This time by, Nash losing a little bit of time. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. As Benjamin Nelson starting to catch some lap traffic, Willoughby to the inside must have had some issues there. Currently only 6 cars on the lead lap. As your next car in threat to get put a lap down is your 03 of Ryan Traver. You gotta wonder how hard Traver's gonna fight to stay on the lead lap here. If we do get a caution, as I say that, looks like he got into the wall, slowed down his entry into 1 and 2, and it's allowed the 125 and Benjamin Nelson to blow right by him. There's a joke going around to where you can hand Benjamin Nelson a 1 lap pole penalty, he'll still win the race, and if this race stays green, that might be very well true. Now caught up to the 28 of Gary Sargent, gonna put him a lap down. Let's talk about Mr. Nash real quick. I mean, solid race here so far tonight, running P3. I mean, a good finish here kind of locks the championship in, as he already has almost a 30-point lead going into next week. I mean, next week all he really has to do is show up and race, and he wins the championship. So, and the old NASCAR format to where you already know who won the championship when the race happened, which, me personally, was not a fan of that. I like this new system to where the win in your in thing gives a chance for these lower teams to have a shot at the playoffs. And it makes winning, I guess, more prestigious, I guess you can say, going into the playoffs. So, I mean, I remember growing up watching NASCAR, you know, you would go to the championship race, you could call it, you already knew who's gonna win the race or the championship. I know quite a few Jimmy Johnson 7 titles came up that way, to where going into Homestead or where the final race was, you already knew Jimmy Johnson won the championship. So I mean, I liked when they brought the playoffs in, but when they made the playoffs what they are now, it's when playoffs became really fun to watch. If you ask me, I think stage racing in general should be like how road courses are this season, where they don't throw the caution, but you still get points. I was a fan of it first, but I mean, you get the tracks like road courses for the season, short tracks, and it just turns into a complete disaster. You know, cautions break cautions to go into the final stage. So I say keep stages, but have no caution being thrown. Duke Davis coming to pit lane. big group of cars here by the 60 of Mr. Nash, your points leader. Trevor gets into the wall behind him. I also think they shouldn't race the Bristol Dirt again. I was a fan of it before the season. As I didn't even realize this, but this is actually a battle for position right here between Gary Sargent, Joseph Willoughby, and Ryan Traver. This is a battle for P5, all three of these guys. Yeah, if you ask me, Bristol Dirt, it's not. It was really cool the first 2 seasons. It's just this season, I don't know what they did with it. Racing was horrible, trucks and cup. I mean, and you know it's pretty bad when a person like Kyle Larson, who's a dirt god, says we should not be racing on dirt. So, I mean, if you ask me, if you're gonna do Bristol Dirt, race Bristol 3 times a season. Race 2 asphalt race and 1 dirt race. I don't think one of the races should be dirt. I'm almost curious if you guys can make it on fuel. I mean, if you can't make it on fuel, I would have done pitted already. If I'm Gary Sargent losing this type of ground, as I say that, here comes Gary Sargent to pit lane. Gonna have to go all the way around down low. See who might follow in his footsteps. Benjamin Nelson literally is gonna lap the whole field for this race. Before the race over, it stays green. The great thing about Benjamin Nelson, if you're Benjamin Nelson, you can stay out as long as you want with that big of a lead. He said as long as you want, put all these guys multiple laps down. So if a caution does come out, I mean, you're the only car in the lead lap. Easy win. Going around Traver, but Traver 2 laps down. Gary Sargent, I believe, lost 2 or 3 laps pitting in. That's crazy. Yeah, I think he lost 3 laps. Maybe even 4. Willoughby gets put 2 laps down. Yeah, I don't. Just like the Indy road course, I don't agree with that either. I mean, I know Indy's a really prestigious track and all, but when they brought out the Gen 6, Indy became a really boring race to watch. I mean, last time I had fun watching Indy was Car Tomorrow. That road course, I mean, they go 4, 5, 6 wide going into 1. It's a wreck fest. I don't like it. I think they have too many road courses on schedule too. I remember when it was just Sonoma and Watkins Glen, you know, and now you got Coda, Watkins Glen, Sonoma, Charlotte Roval, Indy Roval, Chicago Street Course, Road America, if I haven't said that yet. I think I hit them all up. Daytona Roval, or do they not race there no more? I can't remember if they race there anymore. There's too many road courses. I mean, granted, Coda was a pretty good race to watch. I mean, too many cautions at the end, but some really good racing towards the end of that race. But it's just too many road courses as Nash is coming to pit lane. Oh, Duke! Duke Davis and fresher tires almost ran over the leader. And I mean, he's chasing down Gary Sargent, and that is the battle for position between those two. As Nash was on the lead lap when he pitted, so let's see how many laps he is down when he comes out. Currently 2 laps down. About to go 3 as Benjamin Nelson puts Benish a lap down. Yeah, so about 3.5, almost, possibly even 4 laps he might lose here off a green flag pit cycle. So Loxton, the lone driver left on the lead lap, and Loxton's coming to pit lane. So here's a sight you don't see very much in iRacing. Every single car, except for the leader, a lap down. You don't see that too much in iRacing. I wouldn't be surprised if Benish doesn't come in soon. I mean, Benish probably just hoping someone gets those fresh, sticky Goodyear tires and loops it, because he will be in Lucky Dog contention. He'll be the only one a lap down, get the Lucky Dog, and it really just be a battle between him and Nelson. As I don't see anyone pitting, so everyone else will be a lap down, and pending no cautions, there'll only be 2 cars on the lead lap when this race ends. As Nelson's coming to pit lane, so Benish will get back on the lead lap and should put Nelson a lap or 2 down. We're about to really see how many laps we go down here, because they were running nose to tail when he came in. Is Bennett? Hold on a second. Benish might be trying to save on fuel. Not something you see very often here at Bristol, as he is clutching and going into the corners. Smart strategy here by Benish if it works out for him, because Nelson's about to go 2 laps down right here. Nelson's still on pit lane. Nelson coming back out, only a lap down, but 40 to go. Did he have enough time to chase down Benish, who was on a fuel strategy, I believe? I thought I heard that when I was just watching him. I was hearing the car cut out like he was clutching in, and he was. So Nelson a lap, really about a lap and a half down. And if Benish can make it on fuel, he's going to have to really hustle to chase him down. This just got interesting. We take a look at some last lap times, and we're going to see the difference here. Nelson is running. He might. He's running about a little over a 1.5 seconds quicker. Maybe. It's going to be pushing it. There's a 60 of Nash is making his way. Trying to get one of his 2 laps back. If this plays out for Benish, what a strategy this is. What a strategy. See Gary Sargent get back around him, go 2 laps down. Gary Sargent having a good run here, 34 to go. 5th position, as Loxton's the closest guy to him, 4th position, as Loxton's almost a whole lap ahead of him, though. And Duke Davis is not too far behind. I don't know if Ben should be able to win this. I mean, we're coming to 30 to go, and he's running over a second slower than the leader, than Nelson. 1.5 seconds slower than Nelson. As Nelson's going to fly past him right here, going into 1 and 2. Put Nelson back on the lead lap, and Nelson has 32 laps to go back around and get past the 7, and he's just running so much quicker. You watch that gap really. I mean, it's a great strategy by Benish, but I don't think it played as much as he would. If I'm Benish, I'm praying for a caution here. You're going to put him and Nelson on the same pit strategy more than likely. And Benish shown he does have the faster long or short run car. 30 to go this time by. That gap's already 12 seconds. Nelson is hauling, you know what, around this track. Yeah, if you're Benish, you've already made your bed. You just gotta pray for a caution. Already down to about a half a lap gap. It's only been 5 laps. The thing about Nelson, he's still running sub 50-second laps. And Benish is still in the 16-second range. .25 to go, gap's 5 seconds, and I think within 2 or 3 laps, Nelson's gonna be right on the bumper of the 7. Here comes Nash to get back on the lead lap. Now, Ben is still more than likely to be able to get a podium. These two cars side by side is going to make this battle for the lead really interesting here. As you see Nelson coming into the picture, coming out of turn 4, 22 to go. Traveling into the wall, Nelson looking low. A lot of traffic for Nelson to deal with here. Finish into the walls, really slow him down. Nelson just flies right back by him. Benjamin Nelson back to the lead. Nash looking to the inside of the 7 to get back on the lead lap. If he'll be able to get it here going into turn 2. Turn 3, I mean. As here comes Loxon as well. Loxon looking to put his shoe in for a podium finish. Oh, my apologies. No, they're not back in the lead lap. They got to get around Benjamin Nelson. Probably a battle for the last podium spot as 17 to go. I don't think Nash and them will be able to get back around the 7, but I might be wrong. But I think my SDK is off because there's no way in hell it's only a 5-second gap between the 7 and 125. They're a half a lap apart. Currently 6 guys left out on track. Loxon's chased down that 60 machine. This will be their battle as of right now, that final podium spot. As they're about a straightaway and a half ahead of the 7, who is running in second right now. 13 to go. I don't think they're going to catch the 7 in 13 laps. They might. They might. I tell you what, every week we don't have a lot of guys show up, but these guys know how to put on a show at the end of the race, make the end of the race interesting. And that's exactly what the 7 of AJ Benish has done. Running the fuel strategies made it interesting to see who's going to get that podium finishing spots. Is it going to be finish, or is he going to get passed by both the 60 and the 3 here in the closing laps with 11 to go, as Nelson has made his way all the way back around to the 7th back bumper to put him a lap down. Benjamin Nelson getting around him. 10 to go this time by here at Bristol. My apologies, 9 to go. Now they might catch him. I think, I don't know, because AJ Benish was running 4th when he chose to stay out, and if these guys catch him, he's going to finish where he was at. So I don't know. Yeah, they're going to catch him right here. Like the Benish already done made his bed. He can't go. Oh! That was almost bad. As unfortunately, Benish, I believe, is going to have the pit this time by. I don't think he's where pit lane's at. Is he out? Oh, I think Benish is out of fuel. Tough break for the 7. And a little too long, hoping for a caution that did not come out. And I think he might even lose 5th spot to Gary. All that confusion did allow Loxton to get around Kevin Nash. Not Kevin Nash. I was going to say it eventually. Michael Nash. Oh, there it is. Big Daddy Diesel Kevin Nash, I guess. Whoops. One of these races is going to slip. As Nelson collects across 6-2 to go this time by. Getting a white flag here. 1 to go. Benjamin Nelson in dominating fashion, lapping the whole entire field at least once. Going to go around 3 and 4 and collect his 4th win of 5 races. Benjamin Nelson, your race winner tonight here at Bristol. As Loxton will come across P2. Mr. Nash will get P3. Tough break for Benish as he's going to have to settle for P6. Whoa! He got to wait for people to finish. Are they done? Are they done finishing? Did he just... Okay, no. I've seen it in the past where if you don't wait till you're done to your burnouts, it scores you as the last car in the lead lap, which I don't think would hurt Benjamin Nelson because he was the only car in the lead lap. Race winner tonight here, Benjamin Nelson out of Cary, North Carolina. Cary, huh? I have to ask him if he's going to Martinsville. No burnouts here tonight for Benjamin. Wait for these guys to get to that podium finisher channel. There was someone last week that had issues, but I guess we'll go in first order. We'll pull in Mr. Benjamin Nelson in dominating fashion. Does something you rarely see in iRacing. Laps the whole field to get the win. What is going on?
Hey, what's up?
Hey man, I guess it's true. I think Martinsville, they're gonna have to give you a lap hold penalty.
Well, I don't know. I'm not the administration, so whatever they want.
All right, man. Talk us through that race. There is didn't get quite the qualifying spot you wanted. You made your way through the field. Had a good battle there for finish for a couple laps. Once you took the lead, you were gone, dude. Talking through that race.
Yeah, the car was pretty sketchy on new tires, like cold tires, but after that it gripped up and it got pretty tight actually, so they managed the right front. But yeah, I mean, after about 30, 40 laps, really started to separate the field. It was pretty stacked for just about 40 laps, and then everybody got real spread out, and uh, lap times just didn't fall off that much for me, I guess. But uh, it was definitely interesting to see all the lap traffic. There were some dicey moments there too.
Yeah, I saw one of those dicey moments. You were coming back around, I think, to gain the lead back from the 7, and it was just a cluster of cars. Talk it through, what's going through your head there as you saw just a big bundle of cars that you're like, please don't wreck.
Yeah, I was like, either don't wreck in front of me or don't wreck me, because I was like, they can't be handling very good either because they're having a hard time passing each other. So it's sketchy, but it's part of it. It's Bristol. You're gonna run into people like that.
Gotcha, man. Well, we'll go to Martinsville next week. First and foremost, are you racing Martinsville or are you going to the race?
That's a tough one. I mean, I wasn't planning on going to the race, but I don't live very far from that track, so like,
I just now noticed that when I put a driver profile.
yeah. I mean, I probably will be racing, so yeah, you could probably say that I'm in.
I'm just asking because I'm going to the race too, so I don't know if I'm gonna be broadcasting it, but we are going to Martinsville next week, so talk through that track as it gets tricky if you don't get the right group of guys involved.
Yeah, it can be a bit of a wreck fest sometimes, but I mean, Martinsville is definitely one of its own kind. I mean, there's not a lot of tracks like it. You just got to park it in the center and try to manage the throttle. I mean, it's really wrap the curb, pretty much all there is to it, unless some sort of multiple lines form. But that's not usually the case at Martinsville. So it's pretty simple, except it's hard to master.
Now, are you one of the guys that wait for a mistake to happen to complete a pass, or are you more of the bump and run guys?
Just pretty much wait for a mistake.
All right, man. Well, congrats on your 4th win of 5 races as out here dominating the field. And if you run the full season next season, you'll be a hard guy to beat for the championship.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to run the whole season, but we'll see. Thank you.
All right. Next, let's go ahead and bring up our 2nd place finisher, Mr. Christian Loxton. What's going on?
Pretty good. Pretty happy with the car tonight. That was fun.
Yeah, man, you had a pretty solid long run car out there, dude. I know you and Nash were battling out there for a little bit in not lap traffic. The 7, I think, ran out of gas right in front of you guys. Sketchy moment for there. You capitalized on that. Got that 2nd spot. Talk us through the race, and we go to Martinsville next week, so talk us through that.
Basically, I kind of had a little misstep on I think it was like the 2nd or 3rd restart where I kind of just got a little loose. I had to come back for that one, so you had that next caution. But once I got into the rhythm, not caution, but once I got into the rhythm, I was kind of feeling comfortable with the car. Anywhere I put it, I felt like I was going to be fast. That 2nd run after the first set of pit stops under caution, I could definitely tell I killed the right front, and then I actually killed the steering a little bit on that wall hit. But I could. It was just a minor detail fix and just be able to put the wheel in a different spot.
Gotcha, man. We go to Martinsville next week. You looking forward to that, or Martinsville kind of one of those tracks where you dread?
I'm definitely a short track guy. I absolutely enjoy like Martinsville, Bristol, those type of tracks, just because I feel like I have that chance that I can at least run really well. For whatever reason, I'm not one of the best intermediates, even though short tracks are extremely tough, especially like Richmond. Richmond has been always really tough, but hopefully it's a good turnout and good race for me. Congrats to Ben. He had a great race, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah, you're same with me. I can't do nothing on intermediates. You put me in a short track, I'm up towards the front. I don't know what it is about the tracks. They're supposed to be harder to drive, but it just fits my racing style. I don't know why.
For whatever reason, I can if I can just translate the short track stuff to the intermediates, I can figure it out and be pretty decent.
All right, man. Congrats on that P2.
Thank you.
All right, next let's pull up our final podium finish here, Mr. Michael Nash. I keep almost slipping and calling you Kevin Nash, if you know who that is.
I don't. Is that a celebrity?
You don't know who Big Daddy Diesel is?
I don't. I may be the wrong generation.
You don't watch enough for wrestling.
Well, that is true. I haven't watched wrestling since I was a kid in the old Von Erich days.
Oh, God. But, man, hell of a race he had tonight. Came in a points leader. Got that solid finish there in P2. You pretty much just got to show up next week, and you got the championship, man. Talking through really this race and really the whole season. I mean, with the finish here tonight, I don't see how you don't win the championship after next week.
Well, it's been fun. You know, it's the first time I've got to run a full season with the no-toe guys, and I've learned so much. And really, you just show up and run consistent. I got lucky and got a win on a crash in one of those super speedway races early on, and then just show up and follow Benjamin until he gets out of sight. And then fight for second, and it's been fun. I thought I had Christian ran me down the first stint, and then I undercut him, and I thought I had him, but then I hit a roadblock with the 5.55 fighting with the 7, and I don't have the balls to put bumpers and go 3 wide, and he caught me and passed me on the high side. So hats off to him.
Yeah, it looks like you had him kind of stuck behind you, and I don't know if the 7 ran out of gas or what happened there, but he cut down in front of you. You hit the back one that kind of opened the door for the 3 to get by you.
Yeah, I think the 7 was he was clearly trying to run and get a caution runner, a full fuel load when the rest of us pit 50 laps earlier. But and then he was really struggling.
All right, man. Congrats on that P3, and like I said, more than likely the championship. I think you came in tonight with almost a 30-point lead. Let me see if I can't pull that stuff up. Yeah, you came in tonight with a 32-point lead, and with Travers finishing. Oh, where did he finish? Trevor finishing right behind you in this race. Really didn't get too much bonus points, so you definitely gained a point or 2 on him. So all you gotta do next week is really just show up, and you got that championship locked down. So congratulations on that.
Well, next week though will probably be the night my wife invites my in-laws over, and then
Oh. Well, I guess it's getting built up that 30-plus point lead then.
Well, hey, thanks for the broadcast. I've enjoyed watching you, and we'll see what happens next week.
All right, man. Take care. All right, that will conclude tonight's broadcast here at Bristol. Definitely had your fair share of action early on until we get that really long green flag run to end the race there. Benjamin Nelson, yet again, being the pro he is, schooling this field, lapping the whole field, and we do go to Martinsville next week as, like I said before, still up in the air if I'll be here for that. I am going to the real life race, so hopefully I can make it back in time. If not, I might still try to load in and maybe just catch, the later laps of the race. But keep an eye out for possibly a broadcast going up next week. In the meantime, y'all keep it safe. And I haven't said this yet, but happy Easter, and we'll see y'all.